was a dark and stormy night, and Joe was driving home from work. The rain was pouring down, and the wind was howling like a pack of wolves. Joe was tired and eager to be home, but fate had other plans. As he pulled into his driveway, he realized he had left his keys at the office. He muttered a curse, knowing he had to go back out into the storm. After retrieving his keys, he headed back to his car. As he entered his house, he noticed the Ouija board on the kitchen table. It was an unsettling sight, with its mysterious symbols and eerie glow. Curiosity got the better of him, and he picked up the board. Suddenly, the planchette on the board began to move on its own, as if controlled by an unseen force. Joe was startled and dropped the board. He tried to leave the house, but the front door wouldn't budge. It was as if some invisible hand was preventing him from leaving. The Ouija board seemed to be controlling everything. Joe was forced to play the game, and with every move, the spirit became stronger and more malevolent. As he continued to play, the spirit revealed that it was the ghost of a person who had died in the house years ago. The spirit was seeking revenge on Joe for disturbing its peace. Joe realized he had to find a way to end the game and banish the spirit before it was too late. But the spirit seemed to have other plans. Suddenly, the temperature in the room dropped, and Joe felt a cold breath on the back of his neck. He turned around, but there was no one there. Then he heard a faint whisper. Joe tried to run, but his legs wouldn't move. The spirit was now in control, and Joe was its victim. The ghostly figure of the person from the Ouija board appeared before him, its eyes glowing with a vengeful fury. Joe was paralyzed with fear, unable to move or scream. The spirit began to advance on Joe, its movement slow and deliberate. Joe could feel its icy breath on his face, and he knew that he was doomed. Suddenly, he remembered the words of his grandmother, who had warned him never to play with Ouija boards. With all his strength, he tried to break the game spell, making a move on the board that he hoped would end the game. With a deafening roar, the spirit was banished. The Ouija board fell silent, and Joe was finally able to leave the house. But as he stepped outside, he realized that the storm had intensified. Lightning flashed, illuminating his surroundings. Suddenly, he heard a faint voice behind him. Joe turned around but saw no one. Suddenly, he felt a cold hand on his shoulder. He turned back around and saw the ghostly figure of the person from the Ouija board standing in front of him. The ghostly figure began to advance on Joe, and he tried to run, but his legs wouldn't move. The ghostly figure kept coming closer and closer until it enveloped him. The next morning, the neighbors found Joe's car still parked in his driveway. When they entered his house, they found no sign of Joe, except for the Ouija board on the kitchen table.